What's going on, everyone? So let's try this again, right? So rumors still going around that the Scream 7, the second trailer, is supposed to come out in December. Now, given that it's Spyglass Paramount, it would come out on a Thursday if it comes out. Now, again, just like I said in the previous video and all the other videos and all that stuff about the trailer, take it with a grain of salt, right? Now, a lot of the same insiders all said that it was going to come out in October, and it did. They were wrong about the dates and, weeks that they did, but they were right about it coming out in October. We got it, just in time for Halloween. And now a lot of those same people are saying that, hey, we're getting a second one in December. We're starting to inch closer and closer into December, right? The 11th, we're basically midway there at that point. Then it's the 18th and it's Christmas. Are they going to release the trailer on Christmas? Again, assuming that they, have it come out on, or in December, right? Like, I would imagine probably not on Christmas. Probably the week before. I don't know. Again, it's very likely that it could come out. It's also very likely that it won't. Like I maintain, don't get your hopes up. If it comes out, great. We're going to talk about it. We'll dive into it. Hopefully it doesn't spoil too much. We'll do the whole, fun conversation side of things and break it down and do all the videos and all that stuff. My guess, right, if it does come out, it's probably coming out, I would imagine, next week, right? Like I said, I don't think that they're going to release it on Christmas. And then the following week would be, New Year's, if my dates are correct, right? And so that would mean we wouldn't get one in December. So assuming that it's out in December, I think the week leading into Christmas is probably where it's most likely, would be my guess. Again, it's kind of like, hey, here's your early Christmas present before we get into it and ramp up, the month or 2 months before the actual film releases, right? Like, so then now you get that, and then you'll probably get one, late January or something like that, because there's supposed to be 3. There were 3 that were rated. Now, obviously, they could use that for other things, so we'll kind of see how this all plays out. Now, you might be thinking, Fate, then why are you talking about this now? And it's just in case, right, to let people know. It is very possible it comes out. Again, I'm not an insider. I'm just a fan of the franchise. Just here relaying the information that is out there. And, to me, why not talk about it? Well, just in case. What if it actually does come out tomorrow? It doesn't hurt to kind of discuss, and also to kind of put some perspectives, right? I like to, put perspective on things, kind of let people know, like, hey, yes, all the rumors coming around. There's a lot of people that are expecting a trailer to come out, last week, right? This week, next week, right? Like, I'll probably do this video again if it doesn't come out, this Thursday. Again, it's just to, 1, bring awareness, 2, have a conversation about the Scream and its trailer and stuff like that. And then 3, to calm expectations, right? So people aren't disappointed. That's my big thing. A lot of people, you get your hopes up, you see all the news, you get, these trusted insiders and stuff that, are right and have been right in the past on things, but again, people get things wrong. And even if it is wrong, it doesn't necessarily mean it was their doing, right? People get bad information at times, or they get information and then that information changes later, and you've already put out the information, right? Like, if somebody tells me, like, hey, the trailer is coming out Thursday, and that's actually the plan for it to come out Thursday, and then, on Thursday morning, they make the decision, hey, let's move it to next week, right? Like, that's not me that's just, again, I got information, things change, plans change. A lot of things go into the mix of this. I mean, usually they have this stuff mapped out, right? Like, studios don't just randomly go like, hey, we're going to release a trailer, today. It's not like an executive wakes up and goes, what, hey, man, today feels like a great day. The sun is out, right? Birds are chirping. Let's release the trailer. No, usually this is all planned out, all mapped out. Hey, we're going to do these things. We're going to release the poster at this date. We're going to release the first trailer on this date. We're going to release, the second trailer on this date. We're going to have this marketing thing on this day. And, they map it out between the time they finish filming to the time that they're going to actually release the film, right? Like, it's not random. or it shouldn't be at least. I'm sure there's things that, like I said, things that come up at times, or you have something and it's a little delayed, or you decide like, hey, we want to kind of go a different route. We are getting trailers for other countries, right? I talked about the India trailer. Recently got a Spanish trailer that is making its rounds. I didn't see where that was actually released, but again, it was basically the same type of trailer. So again, it's just we're starting to get the little pieces, in marketing in other countries and whatnot, and just really starting to push for this Scream 7. And I've talked about, I really hope that they kind of ramp up marketing here, right? Like eh, and I've seen people be like, well, the Scream 7 trailer has, 10 million views, like, and you're worried about marketing. Like, yes, of course I am, right? Like, again, a lot of people look at Scream 6 and go like, oh yeah, man, but it was successful. I say, it really wasn't. Right? Scream 5 had much more success than Scream 6 based on the number of tickets sold. Scream 6 used a lot of gimmicks to inflate the box office. Right? Scream 5 didn't have the 3D and the IMAX and all this other crazy stuff. Right? So again, there's a big difference between a $12 ticket and a $30 ticket. And now you have this movie, and you have all the noise and stuff about, oh, it's another Sydney film, and then obviously all the Melissa Barrera stuff and all that. Right? Like I don't want to see this film not have the major success, right? Like they have the early predictions and stuff, and they're saying that it's going to be around 150 million, something like that, right? Which would be great, but we're also right now you're seeing a lot of horror movies really kind of have some success. And I want to maximize that, right? Like Scream 5 did very well, right? From, a box office perspective and stuff like that. But think of how much marketing they put into it. Now you could argue, Scream 6 might have made more money because it didn't put as much money into marketing and, all the breakdown stuff. But you got to keep in mind, like, theaters take a percentage and all that stuff. So like, it's the numbers, like what it actually made and what it actually profited are usually two different things, right? You'll see a movie, it did 300 million at a box office. It doesn't necessarily mean that it profited 300 million at the box office, right? Because, studios taking half of that, whatever. So again, it's why you usually hear kind of like, hey, a film needs to make whatever, 175 million just to break even, right? And you'll see like the budget is like 80 million, right? And it's like, well, why doesn't he? Because again, the money that they put into marketing, the studios, or the theaters, all of those things, right? So again, there's a lot that goes into it. And so I want this film to have success, right? Like, and even the 10 million views and whatnot for the trailer, right? How many of those are new viewers, right? How many of those, like, I've watched the trailer, I don't even know how many times at this point. It's probably been at least a dozen, right? Like, and I know I'm not alone on it, right? Like, and yeah, you might be thinking, okay, yeah, well, you watch it a dozen. Yeah, but if 100,000 people watch it 8 times, right? Like, a tenth of the views are just rewatching, right? And that's not counting, that's assuming that it's only 100,000. Like, 1 million people watch it 8 times, right? Like, again, we don't know exactly like how many actual eyeballs, like fresh eyeballs, have seen it and stuff like that. You're just going off of the views and that thing. So I want there to be marketing, and plus it doesn't hurt to have more marketing. It doesn't, like, what them releasing, a couple cheesy posters or something like that and whatnot. And I've seen people be like, oh, you want the marketing because, you can make content on it. Well, I can make content regardless. Literally, my entire channel is me coming up with theories and ideas about that. I'm not worried about content. Yes, does it help content? Absolutely, right? Like, you get a new trailer, you get a poster, you get something like that. It gives me something to talk about, right? I don't have to, that day I don't have to work as hard. But again, like, you do this long enough, it's not hard to come up and generate content and whatnot. So it's not even a content thing. Look, I'm very transparent about content, right? I want Scream to have success as a fan, right? Because we're going to get other films, we're getting other movies. And then also, of course, as a content creator that talks Scream very heavily, it's good for business, right? Of course it is. But we also have Scream 8, and we need Scream 8 to, it's, you put the cart before the horse. If this film doesn't do that well, right? Then now Scream 8, it's like, what does the studio start doing? Or then that ends up doing bad. I want this franchise, like, again, I'm in this space because I'm a fan, right? Like I didn't start this for years. I wasn't making anything. I wasn't a content creator outside of like I made content, right? Like, so again, I am a fan. Like most people that start in this space are a fan first. And then, eventually you reach the point where you get monetized and stuff like that. And that's cool and all. But again, that fan doesn't go away, right? Like I still want to see this film have success. And, the film that's had the most success is the film that has been marketed the most, right? I mean, even Scream 4 did terrible at the box office because it didn't get marketing, right? So, Scream 6 didn't do as well as Scream 5, and Scream 4 is the worst box office in the franchise, and the two movies that were marketed the least, right? So, again, to me, I need to see the market ramped up. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Love to hear it out of the way. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Else, we're not. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.